Hey, welcome back to Joyfully Homeschooling Moms, where we cover the three pillars in our home, heart, and homeschool. And so today we are looking at Sonlight Literature Language Arts. This is American Lit by Sonlight. And so I have the student copy up here and I have the teacher copy down here, and we're just going to walk through each of these and see what they look like for the teacher and for the student. I have beautifully tabbed my book um, because I like to keep it all together. This is 430. This is for ages 17 to 18, grades 11 and 12. Now this currently my 10th grader is doing. So we got up to a certain point, which I unmarked by accident, but we got up to a certain point and realized the reading and then discussion wasn't really working because it's just the style of the homeschool. We're not home all the time. And so, yeah. Anyway, let's get right into it. When you flip the page, it will give you your table of contents. So this just tells you everything. Your appendix here, I'll show you all of this. Schedule and notes, introduction, all right, to American Lit. And then the next thing I'm assuming is your book list. And these are all the things that you read in American Lit. We are striving to read most of these. Some of these I'm just swapping out for other reads. Some of them I didn't feel like spending money on. So that's that. Yeah. So for this curriculum, it gives you a quick start guide. I'm not going to flip to every page, but you get a quick start guide on how to set up your notebooks. And then this is what a typical day looks like week looks like for your child. They lay it all out for you. These are all the books that they're reading. This is the stuff that they're doing every day. This does cover writing and literature. We are not doing the writing part. So for that, I cannot comment towards. You do write a certain amount of things, like it's saying the common application. So apparently this is for a kid that's getting ready to apply to colleges and working on their essays, which you should do when you start high school, if you ask me. So, yeah. The biggest thing that they do is for every book that you're reading up here, and they label it. So this is day one information, introductory comment. So this is introducing the book to you as a teacher. And then this book, how to read a book, which that was a hard read. My son did not want to continue to read that. And then, yeah, all of this information gives you to discuss after you read. So this is after you child has read. This, I would prefer to use this if I was going to read everything he was reading. That's the one thing I did take from it. So it gives you things to discuss after each chapter, but it also gives you vocabulary. And this is just for week 1. So all of this, yep, it gives you questions to discuss, introducing, going over grammar rules. All that is in here. Yeah, all of that is in here. And then this is the end, talking about your writing. Your 5th day is optional. On some weeks it's not. So, yeah, this is week 2. Now in the student guide, let me just prop that up here to show you what it looks like in the student guide versus in the teacher's guide. So week 1, it's basically the same thing at the top. Same here to discuss after you read. This is something that if you didn't do all the things, some of the questions are answered already, so they could read through this on their own. So these are all discussion questions. One thing I will say is that theirs tend to have more vocabulary in it than the parents' book. just from my quick eyeball of it. And so, yeah, let me look back and show you. So, day 4, chapter 6. Let's see what mine looks like. So, day 4, chapter 6 vocabulary. This is what the parents one looks like. So, there's one word and a couple other ones, but on theirs, it looks like this. So, in the parents' guide, it is really explained out for you. For me, the way I work in my homeschool, I think, so these are the questions with the answers. So no, it's kind of the same. It's just that the teacher's guide has all of this filled in, and this is the student's guide where there's no answer to the questions. So everything in the teacher's guide is really written out. Theirs is smaller. They do go into things like poetry and memorization. The books do change up pretty quick, so you are reading at a faster pace, I will say, in this. So that's the student guide. The other thing I want to show you, which is the appendix, which I think is a gem of all the things you get. Teaching writing to high school students. And then they have a section that's just maps. After that, if you want to include the geography in this, because it does have where you map out certain things that you're learning. So that is an added thing that I do like about this. This is one of the short stories. They do include those in the back, so you don't have to go hunting it down anywhere. Then they have the scope and sequence, which is more for you. So if you will see the essays that they write, common application, and then travel essay, and then short writing, then a memoir essay, interview, working on plans, interview for college. I'm sure that's what that is. Not 100% sure, but interview, I'm sure they're working on that. And then there's creative expression. And then you have resume writing, research paper. This is stuff that I actually might definitely go back and incorporate, not necessarily now, but this labels all your literature, so it tells you how many weeks you're on one book. This book is 5 weeks. This book is 2 weeks. This book is 1 week. Yeah, so Up from Slavery is 1 week, which is what he's currently reading. He will read Their Eyes Are Watching God. We're Watching God. I want to read that also. So some of the things I'm reading with him, like The Grapes of Wrath, I'm going to read with him. Along with him, I should say. So we are discussing some things, but not all of the things. And then it has a whole research paper process, which I love because that plays it out. He wrote one last year with little guidance, so I'm glad to be working on another one with more guidance this year. How to acquire information from books. This goes into books and internet and how, finding all the things and the quality of the book, that you're using to source basically for your writing. And then there is writing a position paper. That's only 2 pages. And then they give you some supplemental material. There's a field trip planning sheet, which is cool. And then, last but not least, it's going over scheduling your year, what you should use, what you shouldn't use, critiquing it for yourself. And basically, as all you mamas already know, you just take it and adapt it to you. And that's what it says. We adapt things for us so that they work for us in our homeschool. And the last thing over here is they show you how to keep records. I did not write anything in here because one day I plan to pass it on to the next mama, right? So I don't want to make too much marking in here. This, for your geography assignment, this is what it looks like and basically what you're mapping out. Timeline and map points. I do love that everything has a lot of vocabulary. I do love that. Some of the books, I just figured we weren't going to read because I was like, maybe we'll go back and read them in the summer. No rush to read them. But some of the ones I really want to get to, and like I said, some of them I have swapped out for other materials. The last thing that I will show you that I had pulled out is this practical life skills check off list: financial, health, fix it, maintenance, and personal. So this is a really cool thing that you can work towards. And I took this out because I'm like, yeah, we're going to make sure that we know all these things before we graduate. So, yeah. Well, that was Sonlight American Literature guide. They do come like this when you order this, all printed out already, so that you could just put both of your things inside a binder already. And they do come with a cover as well, so you could just plop this on your binder. And so, yeah, that is Sonlight American Lit. If you have any other questions, let me know. As I said, most of it is like, there's not much difference between the parent and the student, besides the fact that the parent has all of the answers in it. And so, of course, you need that. Now, if the student had the answers in it, it would be like, why do we have two copies? So, but this does have all your information in it. So it is good to get the parent guide and the student guide. As we finish this up, which we probably will finish it during the summer, I will, before I pack it away, do a review. As I'm going through all of my things now, I am putting out flip throughs and reviews if I haven't, because I am cleaning out, y'all. Clean out season. So guys, thank you for coming along with this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.